Israeli Air Force managed to travel thousands of miles all the way to Qatar to carry out a targeted assassination attempt using a dozen aircrafts and stealth fighter jets. More details all in the video ahead. The Israeli assassination attempt on Palestinian negotiators in Doha targeted a residential building in the Katara District, where senior Palestinian politburo members were reportedly meeting. We've identified and modeled the exact building that was hit. If you look here, you'll see 5 buildings lined up with a petrol station right next door. The strike was aimed at exactly this building without damaging the other 4, including the petrol station. The strike was a success and carried out against the one in the middle, using a precision-guided weapons around 10 in numbers to be precise, all launched at the same time. Possibly an American-made GPS guidance G-DAM, a spike laser-guided bomb, or even a Rampage missile, all used in multiple combinations. But the real question is, how did Israel know exactly which building to strike? Since the start of the Gaza war on October 7, the Qatar Emiri Guard has been stationed around that structure 24 hours a day. That heavy security presence was a giveaway. The building, located next to the petrol station in Doha's Katara District, has been used to host high-profile Palestinian leaders. The Emiri Guard's mission is to protect these key political figures and shield them from external threats, part of Qatar's careful balancing act of hosting Palestinian militant leadership while safeguarding its own security and diplomatic position in the region. So how did the Israelis manage to penetrate this protective ring? According to intelligence assessments, Israel's internal security agency, Shin Bet, tracked the Palestinian officials in Doha using a layered mix of intelligence techniques. These likely included human sources on the ground, signals intelligence through intercepted communications, aerial or satellite surveillance, and possibly advanced cyber tools. Cross-checking these inputs allowed Israel to pinpoint the exact building and confirm the timing of the Palestinian leadership meeting. This set the stage for a precision strike designed to minimize civilian losses while focusing on senior Palestinian targets. The operation also highlights how difficult such a mission is from a purely technical standpoint. The flight distance from Israel to Doha is roughly 1,200 miles. This is around 2,000 kilometers one way, well beyond the combat radius of fully armed Israeli fighter jets. That means mid-air refueling wasn't just helpful, it was essential. About 15 Israeli fighters are believed to have been involved in the strike mission, flying more than 1,000 miles each way. To pull this off, the aircraft had to link up with Boeing 707-based aerial tankers mid-flight. These airborne refueling platforms gave the strike package the extra range and loiter time needed to reach Doha, conduct the operation, and return safely. Both the outbound and return legs required discrete refueling, most likely carried out over international or third-party airspace to avoid radar detection. This refueling capability is what allows Israeli F-16s and F-35s to reach far-flung targets while carrying heavy payloads of precision munitions. Around 3 to 4 p.m. local time, the formation arrived over Doha and launched more than 10 precision-guided munitions nearly simultaneously at the designated building, targeting the Hamas negotiation leaders. All in all, it took them 3 hours to fly to its target and 2 minutes to strike it. So, why didn't Qatar intercept them? The answer lies in the aircraft Israel chose for the operation. The F-35, with its stealth technology and electronic countermeasures, almost certainly led the strike. Its ability to evade conventional radar makes it extremely difficult for Qatar's air defense systems to track low-flying, stealth-capable jets. While F-35 were busy striking their target, supporting F-16s and F-15s were likely present to secure the airspace in case of any unexpected engagement or dogfights. These will circle Qatar's airspace, providing cover, while reconnaissance aircraft fed additional intelligence back in real time. The strike itself required careful coordination, intelligence confirmation, precise timing, cover refueling corridors, and a rapid extraction plan to avoid entanglement with Qatari defenses or causing unwanted diplomatic escalation. After hitting the target, the jets disengaged immediately, rendezvoused once again with tankers for a final refueling, and then made their way back to Israel. But there is another case study on when Israel used 80 semi-bunker buster weapons on a multi-story block to assassinate a single target at the basement of a building. So let's examine their strategy in 3 different scenarios that led to this assassination. The first scenario involves a tip-off allegedly provided by external spy agency, giving precise coordinates for dropping multiple bunker buster bomb. The second scenario suggests the use of laser-guided targeting, facilitated by Israeli Mossad agents. In the third scenario, 5 years of communication hacking was used to determine the exact date, allowing them to deploy around 80 different.
The Middle East has long been the epicenter of complex geopolitics, a region where alliances, rivalries, and hidden operations constantly reshape the balance of power. In the summer of 2025, a shocking and controversial development rattled the Arab world and the global community alike. Israel allegedly carried out a clandestine strike inside Qatar, targeting Hamas operatives who had been living and operating in Doha under political cover. The story begins not with rockets or missiles, but with whispers in intelligence circles. For years, Doha had been accused by Israel and some Western nations of providing sanctuary, financial support, and diplomatic platforms for Hamas leadership. Qatar's leadership justified this relationship as humanitarian mediation, a channel to broker ceasefires between Hamas and Israel. But in Tel Aviv, security chiefs saw something far more sinister. Doha was becoming Hamas's safe haven, where leaders could fundraise, strategize, and rebuild networks away from the bombardment of Gaza. By 2025, Hamas's external political bureau in Doha had grown more influential than ever. Israeli intelligence noted a disturbing trend. Plans for Hamas's overseas funding, weapons smuggling, and cyber operations were increasingly traced back to Qatar. The war in Gaza had drained Israel's patience, and when intelligence confirmed that high-ranking Hamas officials were using luxury apartments and hotels in Doha as their operational bases, the decision was made in secret corridors of Tel Aviv. Qatar was no longer off-limits. For Israel, striking inside Doha was unprecedented. Qatar wasn't Lebanon or Syria, where Israeli jets regularly carried out strikes with little consequence. Qatar was a wealthy Gulf monarchy, an ally of the United States, home to the largest American military base in the region, Al Udeid Air Base. Any Israeli operation inside Qatar risked sparking an international crisis, potentially angering Washington, destabilizing the Gulf, and inflaming Arab public opinion. But Israeli planners weighed the risks and concluded, the threat was too great to ignore. The operation, codenamed Silent Mirage, began months earlier. Mossad operatives had infiltrated Qatar under the cover of businessmen, academics, and even aid workers. They built networks of surveillance, tracking the movements of Hamas leaders between Doha's diplomatic district, five-star hotels, and discreet villas on the outskirts of the city. Small drones disguised as delivery devices were used to map compounds, identify guards, and intercept communications. What Mossad discovered shocked Israeli decision-makers. Hamas was using Doha not just as a diplomatic base, but as a shadow headquarters. Secure rooms inside luxury hotels were fitted with encrypted communication systems. Meetings were held not in war-torn tunnels of Gaza, but in lavish conference halls, with laptops, maps, and endless funds. Israel realized Hamas had effectively shifted its brain trust out of